This week I got to spend a couple of days in northern Spain with the team in Inatega, looking at lots of dairy cows, milking sheep, and I suppose the thing that I was struck by was how green northern Spain was. I flew into Madrid and took the train north to Coruña in the very northwest of Spain. Almost looked like familiar territory to me. We were looking at the role Precision Microbes can play for Spanish farmers in their calf rearing systems, but we also got to look at different systems, big focus on nutrition as I travelled with Javier from Inatega to talk about cows, diets and what Spanish systems looked like. We got to see lots of calves, different systems, but similar challenges where we went. All year round calving, indoor systems, but similar pathogens were showing up, particularly on every farm. Crypto was a challenge, so we're looking at management strategies around that. Also got to see the cows and talk to lots of farmers, look at some of the challenges that they were facing, particularly around people, teams, people working on farm. One thing that struck me in the indoor systems was there is a huge focus on cow comfort and dry matter intake as a key driver to the success of the farm performance. We also discussed the challenges of the hotter summers that the cows now faced in Spain. Again, green grass everywhere I look. Grass silage been grown here in the field. We also got to tour around. I got to see these heroes, I think they're called, heroes, for drying grain, and I got to see some of the local countryside. Onto our next farm, again a 200 cow unit, and we were looking particularly on this farm at the role Precision Microbes can play in calf rearing. Similar challenges around crypto, so looking at the protocols that were working in Ireland with the combination of halifuginone and Precision Microbes for the first couple of weeks. We discussed that with farmers. We also got to talk about some of the challenges that they faced around antibiotic regulation changes and how that was affecting their businesses. Fresh sheets going in on calves here. A lot of different systems for calves, hutches, individual pens. This farm in particular was very focused on managing the team and creating a good work environment. They had everyone on a 35-hour week. It was time for a little bit of lunch and a carnivore diet as we went on to our next farm. The next farm we visited was a large 500 cow herd, very modern. Sheds been built, a lot of infrastructure, again focused on cow comfort. We just arrived at the end of milking. We were there to look again at calf rearing, a lot of attention to detail. We discussed milk feeding and volumes of milk being fed to calves on the farm, and again some of the challenges that were arising. And crypto was something that kept coming up on a lot of our visits. Again, big focus on hygiene on the farms. And we got to look at the new building, and again what I was taken back by was, I suppose, the real focus was on cow comfort and maximising those dry matter intakes, and a lot of focus on the different diets. Next herd we visited was a pedigree Jersey herd and some pedigree Holsteins. We again looked at the feeding and management on the farm. We arrived again just after milking, and they had quite a unique system for managing the cows indoors on bedding. They were using this agitator, and they found it excellent in relation to just reduction of somatic cell counts. They tried lots of different bedding systems, and this was working really well for them. We reviewed again the diet on the farm and some of the challenges, but management was excellent for these indoor systems. Again, we looked at calf health on the farm, again attention to detail around hygiene. We discussed feeding. It was the first farm I'd actually seen automated milk feeders on. They haven't really taken off in Spain, but a lot of farms are considering them. Then the final visit of the second day was to a sheep milk farm, where I was really there to learn about some of the challenges in the young lambs. Looked at a very unique feeding system. Again, attention to detail around diets was a key element. So some of the feeding systems for the young lambs for artificial rearing, and again we discussed some of the challenges that that particular system had around weaning time and nutritional issues. I got to sample some sheep milk, rum, and we also went to the kitchen on the farm for some deer stew. Very social people, and they were very welcoming. So I'm looking forward to seeing the role Precision Microbes will play on some of these farms going forward around calf health, particularly with the challenges around regulation that's coming up. But I was very impressed by the farms that I met and the farmers I met and the beautiful countryside of North Spain. Massive thanks to Inatega for their time on a wonderful visit.